The dog that saved me from myself. 4 years ago, my family was in a car accident. My parents and my little sister were okay, but I wasn't. I had internal injuries and spent 2 weeks in the hospital. When I finally went home, I had to deal with chronic pain that the doctors said might never fully go away. The pain was manageable most days, but some days it was so bad I could barely get out of bed. I missed a lot of school that year. When I did go back, everything had changed. My friends didn't know how to act around me. They'd gotten used to me not being there. And when I came back, it was like I didn't fit anymore. They'd make plans without me, assuming I couldn't do things because of my condition. Sometimes they were right, but sometimes they just didn't bother to ask. The worst part was the whispers. People talked about me like I wasn't there. That's the kid from the accident. I heard he almost died. He's different now. I started eating lunch alone. I stopped trying to make conversation. What was the point? The pain got worse, or maybe I just stopped being able to deal with it. I started missing more school. My grades dropped. My parents were worried, but they didn't know what to do. They tried everything, different doctors, different medications, therapy. Nothing helped. I felt completely alone, like I was living in this bubble, where no one could reach me and I couldn't reach anyone else. I started thinking maybe everyone would be better off without me. Maybe the pain would finally stop if I just wasn't here anymore. I didn't tell anyone about these thoughts. I just kept them inside, where they got louder and louder. One day, my mom came home with a flyer. It was for a program at a local animal shelter where teens could volunteer. She thought it might be good for me to get out of the house, do something different. I didn't want to go. I didn't want to do anything, but my mom insisted, so I went. The shelter was loud and chaotic. There were dogs barking everywhere, cats meowing, people coming in and out. The coordinator showed me around and explained what volunteers did: walking dogs, cleaning kennels, helping with adoptions. Then she took me to the back area, where they kept the dogs that had been there the longest. The ones that were harder to adopt out because of behavior issues or health problems. That's where I met Max. He was this scruffy mixed breed, maybe part German Shepherd, part who knows what. He had a limp from an old injury, and one of his ears didn't stand upright. He'd been at the shelter for over a year, because most people wanted puppies or perfect dogs. When I walked up to his kennel, he didn't bark like the other dogs. He just looked at me with these dark, sad eyes. The coordinator told me he was usually nervous around new people, but he seemed calm with me. She asked if I wanted to take him for a walk. I said okay. When we got outside, Max stayed right by my side. He didn't pull on the leash or try to run off. We just walked slowly around the shelter grounds together. And for the first time in months, I felt peaceful. I started volunteering twice a week, and every time, I'd walk Max. He became the one thing I looked forward to. On days when the pain was bad or when I felt like I couldn't face school, I'd think about seeing Max, and it would get me through. One day, about 3 months into volunteering, I was having a particularly bad day. I'd had a panic attack at school and left early. I went straight to the shelter, and when I got to Max's kennel, I just broke down crying. I sat on the floor, and Max pushed his nose through the bars, trying to reach me. The coordinator came over and opened the kennel door. Max came out and lay down right next to me, putting his head on my lap. I told him everything about the accident, the pain, the loneliness, the thoughts I'd been having. He just sat there with me, not judging, not trying to fix anything, just being there. That was the moment I realized I didn't want to give up. Not yet. Not when there was this dog who needed me, who waited for me every week. I talked to my parents that night and told them how bad things had gotten. We found a therapist who specialized in trauma and chronic pain. I started actually working on getting better, not just existing. And I asked if we could adopt Max. My parents were hesitant at first. They worried about the responsibility, about whether I could handle it, but I promised I'd take care of him, and they eventually agreed. Bringing Max home changed everything. Having him there made the house feel less empty. On bad pain days, he'd curl up next to me. On days when I felt like isolating myself, he'd force me to go outside for walks. I started going back to school more regularly, because I knew Max was waiting for me at home. I joined a support group for teens dealing with chronic illness. And I actually made some real friends who understood what I was going through. Max also had chronic pain from his old injury. Some days he'd limp more than others. But he never complained. He never gave up. Watching him push through his bad days helped me push through mine. We were both broken in our own ways, but together we were okay. It's been 4 years now. I'm in college, and Max came with me. He's older and slower, but he's still my best friend. Still the reason I get up every morning. I don't know what would have happened if my mom hadn't brought home that flyer, if I hadn't met Max. But I know I wouldn't be here today without him. Sometimes the thing that saves you isn't what you expect. It's not a person or a medicine or a miracle cure. Sometimes it's just a scruffy shelter dog with his own problems, who shows you that life is still worth living. If you're struggling right now, if you feel alone, or like things will never get better, please hold on. Find that one thing that makes you want to keep going, even if it's small. For me, it was a dog. For you, it might be something completely different. But it's out there, I promise.